Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ango bringing you guys another news video here on Tony Pizza Guy's YouTube channel. And today's actually a big one because a lot of people every year speculate on Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to WrestleMania. And he actually already announced that he doesn't really have any motivation or any eagerness to return to the ring for WrestleMania 32. So WrestleMania 31 was pretty much already put down. I believe it was on Jim Ross's podcast. It was on one of the podcasts that were on Podcast 1. So, but basically, Stone Cold didn't have any interest coming back to WrestleMania 31. And, obviously speculation started to arise through the YouTube community and the online wrestling community through Twitter and social media, because WrestleMania 32 will be in Dallas, Texas, I believe. And a lot of people, once again, are speculating that he will be there. But Stone Cold Steve Austin has actually already said that he's not really too eager to get back into the ring. And I think there's a lot of reasons as to why. And I feel like one would be the story in the build-up. With Stone Cold's health and, just he's not really 100% healthy. I don't feel like WWE really has a guy that they could put in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin. John Cena is maybe one of those guys, but storyline-wise, I just don't see how it could work. There's only one other person that I think logically could work in a match with Stone Cold, and unfortunately, it doesn't even really benefit anybody in the WWE because it's not going to elevate anybody, but it would be for good time nostalgia, and that would be Chris Jericho or Triple H. And those two guys, I think having a match with Stone Cold would make sense. I feel like they can definitely play off a good story, but unfortunately, there's just nobody really at the point in their career where having a feud with Stone Cold makes sense. At least I can't personally envision a feud. And, that's with guys like Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns or, even Dean Ambrose might work with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I just don't feel like storyline-wise it really makes sense. I don't know, you know what I mean? Dean Ambrose might be a little bit more logical than a guy like John Cena or, bringing back Chris Jericho or Triple H. But realistically, the roster is very thin, and there's not anybody that could really do a great job with Stone Cold, as well as keeping up with Stone Cold, and Stone Cold has to keep up with this individual as well, and if you're not 100% healthy, it's just not going to work. But Stone Cold has basically essentially said that he's not really eager to come back to the ring at this point in his career. The money has to be right, the story, the build-up has to be right, and he has to really feel invested into the story. And I feel like that is, I feel like deep down inside that is the truth. I don't feel like WWE has something to offer him at the point. And obviously all the speculation, once again, it's always going to be on Twitter. It's always going to be on YouTube because there's so many people always talking about it. But Stone Cold has said that he doesn't plan on coming to the ring for WrestleMania 32. Now, granted, in the wrestling business, they always say never say never. And that is something that could change. But deep down inside, do we think that's going to change? I personally don't think that's going to change. I think we're not going to see Stone Cold have another match. I hope I'm proved wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I would love to see Stone Cold return. But I feel like WWE missed the mark. Stone Cold versus CM Punk would have been the feud to watch. It would have been a very big deal. And unfortunately, we didn't get that. CM Punk is now in the UFC. Chances of him coming back, it's very slim. So I'm not really sure if we'll actually get that opportunity. But there is some potential with the Dean Ambrose feud. Now, Stone Cold has not, responded to any speculation in regards to who he would want to face if he returned or anything like that. He hasn't come out and said anything about if he were to have a match, who he would have a match with. So that's why everything is still speculation. But Stone Cold has basically said that he's not interested in a return to the ring. And, we've heard a lot of people talk about it. Jim Ross has talked about it on his podcast. Stone Cold has talked about it on his podcast. At this point, I feel like, chances are very slim, which sucks because we all want to see Stone Cold come back, but Stone Cold coming back is probably too late at this point. Granted, things could obviously change, like I said previously, but what do you guys think? Who do you guys think could really come back into the WWE and have a good match with Stone Cold? And it doesn't have to be a returning star. It could be an existing superstar. It could be a guy from NXT. I feel like, and maybe this is because of CM Punk and Corey Graves gimmicks or, similarities that the internet has to basically mold together. But Corey Graves at one point I thought would be a cool feud for Stone Cold. But, Corey Graves is basically retired now. He can't even wrestle. And, I don't feel like WWE has anybody realistically that is ready to go into the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I'm going to make a very bold prediction, which I'm probably going to get a lot of flack in the comments for this. But this is my personal prediction. But I think a guy like Baron Corbin could eventually get to that point in his career, depending on if he improves on the mic and if he improves with more of like his thespian skills. I feel like Baron Corbin could be a guy that would put on a great match. But to be honest with you, he's not at his career at this moment in time, and it probably won't be for a couple more years. And by that time, Stone Cold's going to be very, very old, and he's going to still, he's not going to have a match, and he probably won't wrestle at that point. But I wish Baron Corbin was at the point in his career where he could put on a great, semi-main event match with a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I feel like that would be really cool. There's just so much potential with it, and I think that is the best part about it all. Baron Corbin, like I said, he's just too young at this point. He's still got a lot more to develop, but I wish he was just at that point, because if he was, like I said, there's a lot of potential with that, and when there's potential, sometimes it's good for WWE to take that risk. Do I feel like Baron Corbin's ever going to be a main eventer? I would like to see it because I'm a huge fan of the guy, but let's all be realistic. It's not going to happen right away. We're already looking at the struggles WWE is having with Roman Reigns, and he's a guy that I'm personally a fan of, but even a feud between Roman Reigns and Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't think there's really any story behind it. There's nothing to it. So Triple H and Chris Jericho are guys that you can have fight him, for nostalgic reasons, but it doesn't do any good for the WWE, and it doesn't do any good for any superstars. It doesn't do good for Chris Jericho. It doesn't do good for Triple H, or it doesn't do good for Stone Cold. But maybe Dean Ambrose. I think Dean Ambrose could actually, realistically, I feel like he's at the point in his career where he can have a great feud with Stone Cold. I feel like they could have a very, very interesting feud, an interesting story. But there is still a little bit more development for Ambrose. And I know some people will take that the wrong way, but I personally feel with Ambrose, if he were to have a match with a guy like Stone Cold, I feel like WWE would have to really, really, really develop his character in a sense of actually forming a true gimmick. And we're starting to see that, with the whole unstable Dean Ambrose, but I want to see WWE commit to that before I actually say, yeah, he deserves that match. Because Dean Ambrose has kind of floated around, from the Shield to a single star, and he's done some really great stuff, but it seems like WWE just doesn't have him on the number one list to push. And we're starting to see with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, those are the top three guys WWE is really, really trying to push. And the same thing could be said about Cesaro. So having a feud between Dean Ambrose and Stone Cold Steve Austin would be pretty legit. But guys, Stone Cold has pretty much said that he is not interested in wrestling at WrestleMania 32, and that is in Texas. So that's like home field advantage or whatever. And that is just, he's not interested, and if a guy's not interested, he's not interested. Now, of course, he could be playing off to the internet. You know how it is every year, road to WrestleMania. It's so much speculation. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Dean Ambrose would be a good feud for Stone Cold? How do you guys feel about Stone Cold basically saying that he's not interested in wrestling? Do you guys feel like he owes it to the WWE universe, or what are your guys' opinions? I feel like that's the best way to, really get the discussion going, because I feel like Stone Cold has like a love-hate relationship with the WWE universe. A lot of people love Stone Cold, but they hate the fact that, he'll show up to WrestleMania 30 and drink a couple beers, but then realistically he doesn't get in the ring. And, the whole opportunity to get him in the ring with CM Punk never fell through, and now there's a huge opportunity that we missed that. In my opinion, the only guy that's currently on the active WWE roster that makes sense is Dean Ambrose. But like I said, I want to see WWE really commit to Dean Ambrose before I say 100% Dean Ambrose is the one. But yeah, like I said, guys, there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential. Even though I mentioned Baron Corbin, I can't see that really working out to the way it is right now. Baron Corbin's still got to develop his character, and by the time he does that, Stone Cold ain't going to be wrestling. So WrestleMania 32 is pretty much out of the question for Stone Cold Steve Austin. But like I said earlier, guys, in the wrestling business, they say never. And if that is the case, there's always that slim chance that we'll see Stone Cold in the WWE ring wrestling. But who would it be against? And, what do you guys think? Is there a gimmick match that you could throw in there? Is there a title opportunity that you might throw in there? Does Seth Rollins make sense to throw in the ring with Stone Cold? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. A lot of possibilities. Deep down inside, guys, it sucks, but that's just the way it is. Stone Cold ain't going to be wrestling anytime soon. And I just want to know what you guys think about it. So make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the support. And make sure you guys check out Tony Pizza Guy's YouTube channel for more news videos. And, of course, he's going to be bringing you guys more of his own personal original content. And make sure you guys check out that documentary, I Am a Mark. Marks, it's still real to me. IamAMark.com. Very awesome campaign going on. I definitely support it. Hopefully you guys do too. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.